This is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes.
Yeah.
This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth. It's an alarming choice for a man who has often struggled to unequivocally denounce white supremacists. You recall these moments.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Those words have power. They have meaning. And when Donald Trump speaks, the world listens. Neo-Nazis and white supremacists certainly listen. So why can't he denounce them? Why can't he reject their support?
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
What's your response to Donald Trump saying she should be fired, that Liz Cheney should be fired upon? He keeps speaking in these very extreme terms about the potential dangers to the country if he doesn't win in November. He's used words like bloodbath.
So the fake news appears to be in serious trouble because, guys, ever since the 2024 election, we have been hyping up the fact that a lot of the mainstream liberal-leaning legacy cable outlets like CNN and MSNBC are facing mass layoffs of their employees. And they're basically finding, the executives, right, are finding that their current method of business is no longer profitable. And of course, the obvious reason for that is, in general, less people are watching cable TV. But I'd also argue, guys, that is not the only reason, because as we also covered doing these videos in the past, basically right after the 2024 election, the rating viewership for MSNBC and CNN dropped by 50%. Okay, and that's not just because 50% of their viewers decided to cancel their cable and buy a Roku overnight. No, it's also because en masse, less and less Americans trust these people. They're flocking to independent media because they're very tired of the propaganda that is being sold to them. And that's why today, as we get into talking about how CNN is apparently doing these layoffs because they want to shift to being a less cable-driven, more digital network, they're still, in my opinion, going to fail because they fail to recognize why people like independent media more than them to begin with. They like independent media, guys, because it feels real. People don't think they're just being completely propagandized or lied to, whereas CNN, it's all, how it goes there. But anyways, we can now officially report today that it's no longer hype. It's no longer reading an article speculating about layoffs, because the layoffs have officially come. According to the New York Post, CNN boss Mark Thompson confirms 200 layoffs have happened across the cable TV network in CNN's digital push. We'll give you this full story here today. And apparently, while people like Wolf Blitzer and Jim Acosta are not directly being laid off, they're also kind of getting the boot to a lesser position in the network. But first, folks, do us a big favor. If you enjoy our content, please make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. You subscribing is the #1 way to ensure we can keep doing these videos. It's completely free. By the way, thank you for 400K. Let's begin the push to 1 million. Hit that red button. And with that said, here's today's story. So CNN boss Mark Thompson on Thursday revealed sweeping changes to the network, including 200 layoffs in traditional TV production jobs as the company invests in new digital roles, according to a report. After slashing its staffers, apparently CNN's going to be replacing these people with new digital positions, to which I again say, I understand what CNN is trying to do here. Maybe they're thinking, oh, we're hemorrhaging money because no one is watching TV. But I want you guys to keep this in mind, right? Fox News, which I have my disagreements with, I have my criticisms of sometimes, but regardless, right, they're still at the top. They're still like king of cable TV. Like, that still has not changed despite the push to, other stations like Newsmax, as well as obviously independent media like this. So I want people to remember that. It's not just because no one is watching cable news. It's also because they think CNN is propaganda. And I see no evidence still thus far that, they're going to try to change that form of the coverage, although apparently they're going to be replacing the late night slots, as we'll show you in a second, of people like Jim Acosta and Wolf Blitzer. So maybe they're also onto that aspect of it as well. But anyways, the CNN boss said that this is a moment where the digital story feels like an existential question. If we do not follow the audiences to new platforms with real conviction and scale, our future prospects will not be good. Well, again, Mark Thompson, I agree that your future prospects, as a whole, just do not look good. But I want you to, again, remember, it's not just because no one watches cable news, right? There's a reason why people in my generation don't like the legacy media, and it's not just because we have TV. We don't have TV, I should say. No, it's also because we don't believe you. We don't trust you. You feel fake. You feel insincere, and in many cases, you're just flat out lying. But, anyways, let's continue reading here. Apparently, some shows produced in New York or Washington may be moving to Atlanta, where production can be done more cheaply, the report said. So again, these shows are like not making enough money to justify all of the staff and all of the production value that goes into it. And this is far from the only instance of this happening, obviously, in the legacy media, because the Washington Post said earlier this month it would lay off about 4% of its workforce, or less than 100 employees, in a bid to cut costs. In November, the Associated Press said it would cut about 8% of its workforce as it looks to modernize its operations and products. But guys, here's where this story starts to get really good. So just days ago, Thompson, the CNN boss, warned top on-air talent, including Jake Tapper and Anderson Cooper, against expressing any outrage of their own during President Trump's inauguration, according to the Status newsletter. So he's like, hey, stop being so Trump deranged. This is not working for us anymore. People are just not, even the liberal people who don't like Trump, they're just tuned out. They're just kind of tired of listening to this. And I think this also summarizes a phenomenon that is different in 2025 versus 2017, which is the left has no will to fight. They have no will to be angry anymore. They're basically just defeated. They don't even want to listen to this. And so, they're basically saying, okay, we need to try to appeal to a wider audience. And in order to do that, you guys have to stop being such clowns on the air. But anyways, during a virtual editorial meeting on Sunday, Thompson advised staffers to avoid prejudging the president. The network is also replacing frequent Trump antagonist Jim Acosta's 10 a.m. show with the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer and Pamela Brown. CNN is in talks with Acosta about another role, according to the Times. So that arguably is the funniest part about this all. Crazy lying Jim Acosta, guys, apparently is, being kind of pushed out, right? Not fired explicitly, but they're like, hey, I don't know if you doing this actual show is working. Why don't we kind of push you to the side, keep you over here? You can do some news stories here and there. And I don't know, it could not have happened, honestly, to a better person. I really wonder why no one is taking Jim Acosta seriously.
This is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes. Yeah. This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim. Look, I left the White House during a riot. My life was threatened. My life has been threatened within the last few weeks, yet there's no coverage of that. And you all continue this narrative of attacking Trump. You just can't stand the fact that he won and that America spoke.
Congressman,
and that,
no,
and that your view is very diminished.
That's not the case at all.
And your view is very diminished.
I just love the smugness and arrogance there of Jim Acosta. It's like, this is CNN. This is not Fox. We're the arbiters of the truth. I expect you to come on here and tell the truth. Again, this is kind of a reason why nobody trusts cable news anymore, why they think these cable anchors, especially on CNN, are just completely smug and pretentious and just very annoying to listen to. That's number one. But also number two, okay, I guess Jim Acosta is going really hard out there to defend his company, to defend the honor of CNN. But the funniest part about it all is, how does CNN respond to him, right? How do they reward his loyalty? Hey, buddy, we're going to cancel your show. And, maybe, do you want to clean the bathroom? Do you want to get the coffee for the boss or something? It's just so hilarious. Jim, what did it do for you? Okay, where did all of these years of shilling for your employer actually get you? But who knows, honestly, maybe they'll send Jim Acosta back to the White House, which will in turn give us more iconic moments like this.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Don't be rude.
Attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
No, I'm not going to give you a question.
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news. I tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news. when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead. Because your question is a very political question, because you have an agenda. You're CNN. You're fake news.
Well, it's safe to say that Trump won in the end, which is sort of a big story of the 2024 election. And you want to talk about the political dynasties he's clashed and ultimately defeated, like the, Obama, Clinton, Bush, Biden, etc., all that stuff. But I think we also have to give credit where it's due. Trump really, in many ways, also ended the legacy media, okay? CNN, for a long time, it was this back and forth, it was this, and who's going to win in the end? And Jim Acosta really thought, we're going to take down Trump. We're going to stop him from ever being president again. And of course, what happens? Not only did Trump become president again, but CNN is now just cratering, right? Amazing, guys. But anyways, let's continue reading the last part of this article, because as much as we're going to dunk on Jim Acosta, because that's by far the funniest development in this whole story, okay? Again, who won in the end? Trump won in the end. But anyways, apparently the decision to shift Wolf Blitzer, who's going to be taking Jim Acosta's show, who was recently mocked on social media for his outdated television setup, to mornings, allows CNN to keep one of its most respected anchors on air, while also gradually transitioning him out of the evening lineup. To be honest, I think that's kind of humiliating. I think I'd rather be laid off than be again, one of the most famous TV anchors. Wolf Blitzer, I'd argue, in U.S. history, right? He's been around a very long time. He was prime time forever. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, do you want the morning show? No, I don't want the morning show. But, this is the humiliation ritual that all of these mainstream anchors are being forced to go through. Anyways, Thompson said the network will also be launching a new morning show anchored by Audie Cornish, who currently hosts The Assignment and all this stuff. Anyways, in the end, this is about CNN being, as it has been in history, an indispensable way in which millions and millions of people get their news, Thompson told The Times. As far as the new digital jobs go, CNN is looking to hire the same number of laid-off employees on the digital side. The network is aiming to hire about 100 digital staffers in the first year. Guys, any of you kids out there, do you want to work for the CNN digital team? Okay, I'm just saying, no, obviously we do not, because it's not going to work. That's my prediction. Even the digital push is not going to work, because they still, again, don't understand. Maybe they kind of do, because the Thompson guy is saying, look, you guys got to stop being so Trump deranged. But en masse, the employees and the anchors still don't understand. It's not just because Joe Rogan and people are watching internet shows. No, again, it's because you guys are insincere. There's a general perception that, hey, the internet stuff is more real. It's more raw. That's why I want to watch it. So you can, put the podcast mic right here. It's not going to change the fact that Jim Acosta is still a fool and a disingenuous liar. That's what people honestly should keep in mind. But anyways, okay, there you have it. Again, legacy media continues to collapse. Great accomplishment of Trump. But with that said, be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you are new. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. And until next time, God bless and peace.